Alright, time to make a video. Wonder what's trending right now. Let's see. Minecraft Hardcore, 100 days. Tier charts. Today I'm making a tier chart of every single Minecraft update. What? No, I'm not just copying trends. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. Let's just get to the chart. The first we're going to talk about is the Pretty Scary update, which is most known for adding the Wither. It also added crops like potatoes and carrots, the zombie villager, the witch, and the bat. Guess that's probably why it's called the Pretty Scary update. You know what? That makes a lot more sense now. As for those additions, they are pretty useful, but they're almost so useful at this point that I'm so used to it, so it doesn't really feel like a new addition. However, that's just because I'm a new player, so for now, I'm going to give it a B tier. Next up, we have the Redstone update, which is the update that it adds redstone. Does anything more need to be said? You know I love it. I love redstone. A tier. The next is the horse update. Yes, they made a whole update for horses. D tier. Next up is the update that changed the world, which is accurately named because it did change the world. It added a lot of the new biome variants that we are all used to today. I'm going to give this one an A tier because it changed everything. It's almost like it's called the update that changed the world. Next up is the Bountiful update, which is one of the many updates that I had to look up what it even did. Okay, but it is pretty good because it added a lot of new map making features such as spectator mode and new mob AI. Had it not been for that, we would not have a lot of the good things we have today, so I'm going to give this a B tier. Oh boy, we're getting into the controversy now. Next up is the Combat update, which was Microsoft's first update, and everybody hates it. Mainly because of the Elytra, which lets us just fly forever. I mean, as long as you have a creeper farm, but I talked about that in my other video. Go watch that. Anyway, the Combat update was a really good addition, no matter what people say. The Elytra lets us literally just skip all those other transport methods, which in my opinion is not a bad thing. They were super slow anyways. So for that, I'm giving it an S tier. We need another end update. Mojang, if you're watching this, you know what to do. Frostburn update. Wait, what? That's an update? Hang on. I'm looking it up. Okay, well the Frostburn update added new features like polar bears, stray, snow variant, skeletons, husk, desert variant zombies, structure blocks for saving and loading builds, magma blocks, and an auto jump feature, essentially introducing new mobs and blocks primarily focused on colder biomes and providing a way to easily replicate structures in the world. Thanks, AI. Anyway, as for that, I'm probably just going to give that a C tier because it doesn't sound like it added much. I don't know. Next up is the Exploration update. What this did? Good question. I'm looking it up again. Next up is the Exploration update, which actually added a lot that is really useful today. It actually added the Evokers and Vindicators and Vexes before the Pillagers were added. Might not be something you knew. This was because they added the mansion structure in this update, and they also added shulker boxes, which is something very useful if you ever need to carry lots of resources. For that, I'm going to give it a B tier. The World of Color update made this world colorful. That's why it's called the World of Colors. But no, it added lots of new color variant blocks, which are super useful for building, and so I'm going to give this a good old C tier. The update Aquatic actually started a new era of Minecraft updates, which changed almost everything about the Minecraft game. It was really cool, the things that they added. The coral reef, or the ocean monument, and all the guardians inside of it. However, I'll be honest, I don't really go in the water that much. but I am going to give this a C tier. Look, all I'm saying is that if you're going to make lots of stuff underwater, maybe consider making it actually possible to go underwater without dying. The Village and Pillage update is responsible for our literally everything farms that are villagers. It also added pillagers after adding the other variants and raids, making yet another boss battle in Minecraft. I am going to give this an A tier because that is a pretty good addition to the game. Next up is Buzzy Bees, which added bees. Yes, that's it. That's like all it did. I'm going to give that one a D tier. Next up is the Nether update, which changed absolutely everything about the Nether, and if you think about it, it's probably going to be the biggest update on this list. It added lots of new biomes, lots of new mobs, netherite armor, completely overhauled the Nether. It was really nice. I loved it. Though, honestly, that's because it has a really close place to my heart, because this is the update I started playing Minecraft on. I'm going to give this one an S tier. The Caves and Cliffs Part 1 started the revolution that is the Caves and Cliffs. However, it didn't add a lot of the really good stuff, it just added some of the blocks ahead of time. This update was so big they had to split it into 2 parts. As for Part 1, I'm going to give that one an A tier, because I really liked the blocks. Actually, I'm going to move it down to a B tier, because the blocks are pretty good, but the world generation is the good part. And speaking of the world generation, Caves and Cliffs Part 2 introduced that world generation and a few other blocks. It completely changed the way that caving works. Before the Caves and Cliffs update, we didn't have these big open caves, we just had little spaghetti caves. And luckily, that is no longer the case. We still have spaghetti caves, but whatever. I'm giving this one an S tier, because it is my absolute favorite update of all time. The Wild update was actually pretty crazy. Minecraft wanted to bring back that experience of the first night, but they wanted to bring this back in a way that it could be long-term. And it's yet again an example of Minecraft wanting to help our worlds be long-term. They acknowledge the fact that they're one of the few games that actually is made to be played for longer than 30 minutes. And that is why they added this. It's for people who are late game and still want that experience of knowing that they are not invincible. And that, in my opinion, is genius. I'm gonna give it an A tier. Hey you, are you enjoying watching me roast all of Mojang's updates? Well then you should subscribe, because I'm never gonna do anything like this ever again. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Next up is the Trails and Tales, which left something to be lacking, I'm just gonna be honest. Look, don't get me wrong, they added cool things like armor trim and pottery, which both don't do anything. But then it's just the armor trim, okay? I don't like armor trim, don't get me wrong. It's cool that you can, like, customize it, but it costs so much, and it's so hard to get them. I mean, fortunately, they did just leave it to the armor trim, so you can just not get the armor trim. And oh wait, they didn't, because they also made you have to get netherite upgrade templates, which are basically just armor trims. And now I can't get netherite. Thanks, Mojang. For that, I'm creating a new tier for this. F tier. But I can't do that on this website, so it's just going to be a D tier for now. And now, the Tricky Trials, one of the most recent major updates, which was a surprisingly good addition. It made Minecraft feel a bit more like a real game with challenge levels that you have to complete to get good loot. And if you've ever looted a Tricky Trial, then you know it's a really good place to get good loot. For that, I'm going to give this one an A tier. And lastly, we have the Garden Awakens, which, while not really a major update, is the latest update we've gotten. So there are a few things I need to take into consideration when it comes to the Garden Awakens. First of all, in the very same Minecraft Live that they announced it, they also announced that they would be releasing things in a more feature nugget-esque sort of way. Meaning that they're not going to release lots and lots of big things all at once like they used to. So that is why I think that there was a lot less in the Garden Awakens. There was just the Pale Gardens, and that's just about it. However, it still has one major flaw in mind, and that is the fact that the garden is great, but there's not really any reason to go to the Pale Gardens. I mean, sure, there's resin, but resin doesn't really do anything. So for right now, the gardens just exist. There's no reason to go to them, there's no reason to find them, unless you want your own creaking, which I'm so glad that they let you get your own creaking. Still, it's a pretty decent update. I'm gonna give it a B tier. However, Mojang, if you're watching this, I think there needs to be some work done on this, and giving the Pale Gardens a reason to explore. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again, hopefully, in the next video. Goodbye.